Welcome to another edition of Coffee with the Goose, where we talk about things that are interesting, fascinating, and irritating. Yes, I'm the Goose. Good to have you with me again. And as usual, we'll start with a sip of good hot coffee. And my coffee is strong, just like my opinion, and got a little creamer in there to make it sweet, just like me. Let's talk about spanking. Now, be honest. Do you spank your kids? Shame on you. No. Spanking is a good thing, as long as it's not taken to the extreme. I read an interesting quote from the president of Belarus, you know, the country right next to Russia and Ukraine. He said he was complaining about a law that was in the works in Belarus about spanking and, not violence, but, laying your hands on your kids when they're naughty. And he said, sometimes a good beating is useful for a kid. He's right. He's right. If you don't, and I know there are always exceptions, there's always that little angel, but guess what? If you never swat that little angel on the behind when he or she is naughty, they're not going to be an angel very long. You've got to keep them in line. An old saying, and this actually occurs many times in the Bible in one form or another, spare the rod, spoil the child. Really what they're talking about is if you do not discipline your child, he's going to embarrass you in public. We see a lot of that, don't we? I can just give you a couple of personal examples. I tell my dad, who's 89 years old, Dad, I only remember you putting your hand on me 2 or 3 times, but boy, do I remember. He let it be known there is an authority in this house, and he is it, and I am it in my house. Of course, you don't like to do it, and you don't do it when they're teenagers. You need to start young. I think it was my sister said, oh, come on, they're just little 3-year-olds. You can't do that. Yes, you can, and you should. You don't start when they're in the crib. But come on, you have to teach your child that they must listen, they must obey, they must respect you. Respect means, in my opinion, and this, I don't know whether you think this is true or not, but respect has to have a little bit of fear in there. No one's going to respect you as a world leader or as a parent unless they know there's some punishment behind it. You got to take care of your kids, and sometimes it's tough love. The worst beating, this is the only personal story I'll share with you, the worst beating I ever had from my dad, I think I was 15, got caught drinking. They brought me to jail, and they told me the worst thing any young man should ever hear. We'll call your dad, he'll come pick you up. No, don't do that. Luckily, we only lived about a block and a half from the jail, but he beat me every step of the way, and guess what? That never happened again. But I love my dad. And I respect him for that. I had to, swat my son a couple times. I don't do it anymore. He's bigger than me now. But he respects me. And that's what it's all about. You need to, your kids need to know who's in charge, who's providing for them, who is protecting them, who is guiding them. It's you. And they better listen to you. So let me know what you think. If you have any comments, feel free. I love to hear from you. Any comment I make, I'd like to hear your opinions, and I will respond to them. And please subscribe. That way you'll stay up to date on all the latest shows. There are many more to come. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Coffee with the Goose. Take care.